Hey guys, James here again, and usually I use these videos to tell you what you should be doing, who you should work with, how you should present yourself, what it will take to make sure your next song is a big success, things along those lines. But today, I want to talk about the one thing I wish you would not do, the thing I wish everyone would stop doing so that we could all have a more healthy and cooperative and honestly successful music industry as a whole. And you might already be doing it, you might already be a person that's on the right side of things, but if you're not, consider this your wake-up call. There's one trend that I see every single year without fail that drives me absolutely crazy. And I want to thank my friend Jesse Cannon, who has his own channel here on YouTube, for bringing this up as well. But I wanted to make a video on it because some of you might just be here watching me, so I'm going to say it for you now. There's a saying that happens on the professional side of the industry, the non-artist side, and that is this, and you're going to hate it, but I'm going to share it with you. If you want to make money in the music business, exploit the dreams of musicians. And by that I mean, find gullible musicians, get them to give you money with the promise that you'll help them in their career when you know full well that you probably won't, because nobody can guarantee you placement on the Rap Caviar playlist of Spotify, nobody can guarantee you a major label record deal, nobody can guarantee you any of those star-making things that you see people promoting all the time. And yet, without fail, there are multiple different ways people try to offer exactly those services every single year to gullible artists. And a lot of them work, because if they didn't work, they wouldn't exist. But they do, because people give them money. Not all of them, maybe only a small percentage, but if you can reach 100,000 musicians, all of whom have the same dream of getting big, and you can get 10% of them to give you money, well, then you can make a career selling lies. And that happens too often. So today, I'm going to tell you how to avoid doing that. How to be somebody that doesn't give in to the allure of quick success. Now I'm going to assume that if you're in the music business today, there is an artist that you love that got you into music in the first place. You know who I'm talking about. It's an artist that when you were somewhere between the ages of 10 and 20, you heard their music and everything changed. The earth shifted on its axis, and all of a sudden music was the only thing you thought about, the only thing that you cared about in the world. And a lot of people have that artist. I would say most people do, but they usually grow out of it at some point. But for everybody else, we're stuck here. We're stuck loving music with every bit of our soul and being incapable of falling in love with something like accounting because we know how great music is. And when that happens, we have to learn about how our favorite artist got ahead, because I can promise you right now that whoever that artist is, the group or solo artist that you see in your brain when I tell you the one that changed your life, think about how they got ahead. Times may have changed, we may have social media now, we may have other ways of sharing content, but did they get ahead by taking some get-rich-quick scheme? Did they take a 1 hour a month one-on-one mentor session with some elusive person in the music business who claimed to have worked with people like Skrillex or Post Malone that you'd never actually heard of and none of your friends had ever heard of, but they gave them money, and then in 12 months or 2 years, they were suddenly the biggest name in the world? I'm going to bet not. In fact, I'm going to promise you that's not the case. All of the artists that you and I love, the ones that got us to where we are today, they did so through the way that everybody does, which is extremely hard work. It's sacrifice. It's putting in hundreds and thousands of hours of work. It's grinding it out on the road. It's writing 1,000 songs and releasing 20. It's doing the work, because that's the only way to get ahead in this industry. And even though you want to believe that maybe there's some secret that you just don't know, some key that will unlock everything, or some person at Spotify that you can email that nobody else is able to email that will put you on the most influential playlists, or there's an A&R rep sitting at one of the big record labels who's just waiting to hear your song hit their inbox, it's just not true. It doesn't exist. It's not how things work. The only way to get ahead in this industry is through doing like 3 things. Networking, getting your name out there, talking to people, writing really good, really hard to resist music, and 3, just being a decent person. If you can manage to do those 3 things really well, network, put out good stuff, be a decent human being, you will go further than 99% of the artists in the music business today. And I'm not going to say any names here or where most people fall apart, but you and I both know what's going on. There are people who do the work, and there are people who don't and spend a lot of time complaining about the fact that things aren't going their way. If you want to be the next big thing in music, do the work. Put your name out there, network, and be a decent human being. Make the best stuff you possibly can while being the nicest, kindest, most generous person you possibly can, and the rest will follow. Nobody can teach you how to do that. You just have to figure it out for yourself. And I'm not saying that there's not value in motivational speakers like Gary Vee, or that some of the people that offer you one-on-one mentoring services for a yearly fee are completely garbage and that you should never trust them. They probably have good advice, but it's all going to be very broad. They're going to promise that they can turn a grindcore band from Massachusetts and a pop star from Mexico into a celebrity by using the exact same formula, and it's just not true. It's just like telling you that you need to work hard and play hard. What does that mean? How do I apply it to my very specific set of goals? You have to look for the people that are giving you advice geared towards what you're doing if you want to go the advice route. But even if you read all the advice books in the world, it's still not going to be better than simply networking, making great content, and being a good person. If you can do those three things, you will succeed. And you don't need to pay somebody to tell you that. I'm doing it right here, right now for free. And that's somebody that's worked in the music business for almost 13 years now, full-time at startups, record labels, social media companies, promotional distribution companies, and just doing a ton of freelance work as a journalist and other things. I've had many roles in this business, and every single one of them was not some secret that I figured out how to do. It was just following those three basic principles. Do that, and you will get ahead. And I do want to say right now that I recognize by telling you to do those three things that I'm also offering you some type of broad advice, something that's, how do I apply that in my own life? But I do think that they're very practical because they apply to all areas of existence. I mean, if you're just a nice person who works really hard and makes it a point to be friendly with other people, you're going to go places. You're going to have friends. You're going to do things. You're going to have opportunities come your way. That's just human decency 101. But it's lost on so many people because they feel like their creative expression or their desires are just so special or unique or important. And they don't really realize that everybody has big dreams and big aspirations for themselves. They kind of live in a bubble. Don't do that. Live out here with the rest of us who understand that we're all stuck in the struggle and we're all just trying to do the best thing that we can to reach the lofty dreams that we know we probably won't reach but hope to anyways. If you can just continue being a nice person, working really hard, producing great content, and getting your name out there whenever possible, it's going to work out. Maybe not the way that you imagine, but that's just how life works. You'll get ahead. And yes, that's broad advice, but it's the most applicable advice that anybody can give you. And if you pay for those courses, or if you pay for Spotify playlist placement and you see 1 month of boost, you're going to learn more from just doing those three things for a year than you will from either of those methods, and you won't spend a dime. So I'm telling you right here for free, be nice, create good content, network. Do those things, you'll be fine. But if your brain likes even numbers and you just want one more thing to do, then go ahead and follow Music Business. There's a button down here somewhere and we would love to have you. We create a ton of content all about the music business. And some of it is very practical advice, how to promote a single, how to get your song on Spotify playlists according to people who do Spotify playlisting. But we also do music business news, like what's going on with the current coronavirus pandemic and what's happening with distribution models. We talk about all those things right here. So if you haven't done so already, please click that button. And if you have, then you have my sincerest thanks. And there's only one thing left to tell you, which is that you need to take care of yourself because you deserve it.